It's very bad, John. John, your video and your speech. We're off, everybody. Apologies.
Gary Cowan and Graham Howe, John.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Neil. Okay. Minutes of previous meeting. Has everybody had a chance to have a look at them?
Yes.
And is there any comments?
Not from me.
No. Anybody else? No. Okay. All right. Okay. Consultation on WBC Code of Conduct.
I think you've missed a couple of bits on the agenda, John.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry. It's just I'm trying to do the agenda as well. Just bear with me. Sorry. Yes, I have. Sorry. Yeah, declaration of interest. Are there any declarations of interest?
No.
No. Okay. Any public questions?
No questions of any type, John.
Thank you very much. Okay. Consultation on WBC Code of Conduct to approve the consultation document relating to the proposed public consultation on the Code of Conduct for councillors.
Yeah. Can I just ask a question on this, John?
Yes, by all means, Prue.
We're in the position where we've agreed all this already, aren't we? And therefore all we're doing is now finally sending it out to the world, which we couldn't do before.
I believe so.
In which case I don't have any comments on it at all. I think we should just do it.
Hi, this is Sally. I do have one question.
Go on, Sally.
It's not about the meat of the consultation itself, but the introductory section that it's going to people. I was wondering, obviously, for those of us who have been doing this now for a little while, the principles of public office are fairly well known to us, but to the general public, having been one of those not all that long ago, I can guarantee they're not. Could we please just put a little reference as to what that is, because it makes a big it makes a difference, because accountability, particularly accountability and openness, are two of the things that this is addressing, and I think it would be useful to just have a literally one line added to maybe to the background to cover that.
Do you want to restate those policies, did you say, or you
literally just to explain, to refer to them and to say what the 7 principles are?
The Nolan principles?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
That's the one.
Okay, can we do that? There's no reason we can't do that and put that on the front of this, is there, Neil?
Yeah, that will be fine to do that. We'll take that amendment.
Thank you.
Okay. Would you all like to vote on that on the basis of taking that amendment on the front of or in the intro of the document? If anybody's against, please speak up. Okay, can we take that as read then, Neil?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we now move on to number 15. Is that correct?
Could I very quickly ask a follow-up question now we've agreed that that's fine, which is, when is it going out?
All right.
because I've got a full council meeting at town next week, so I'd obviously just like to give them a heads up, let them know. I may.
What's the timing, Neil, for this? Do you know?
Well, I can send it to the town and parish councils tomorrow. And
Amazing,
then
thank you.
put publicly on the website as quickly as possible.
That's
Okay.
super.
All right. Is
Sally, I think Jan will be fine.
and you're happy?
Yeah, I spoke to Jan this morning. I just wanted to give people a heads up on it. That was all.
Okay. All right. Right, update on complaints and feedback.
Yes, Chairman, that's me. If I can just give you a very brief update on this, and then very happy to take any questions that members have got. So on pages 32 to 33, you'll see the current complaints that I'm currently dealing with. It does say in the report for the complaint on page 33 that was received on the 28th of the 7th this year that there would be a verbal update. I'm afraid I haven't really got anything to add at the moment. I still need to consult with the chair and independent person on that one, so apologies that there's no further update. Can I also apologise that there was an omission in the report, that there should have been a complaint that was received on the 7th of August referred to in the report, and this was a WBC member complaint. It's about how a decision may not, or was alleged not to have been in the public interest. Now that, again, like the previous one that I just referred to, needs to go to the chairman and the independent person for review as to what we do with that particular complaint. But apologies that wasn't in the report for you. And the only other thing I'd just add before I take any questions is that since I wrote the report, I had a further complaint that was received last week, and this was a parish and town and parish council complaint. And this is about the conduct or behaviour of a councillor in a council meeting. So again, that one is hot off the press, only in last week. So that just gives you an overview in terms of the complaints that we've currently got, but happy to take any questions that any members have got.
May I ask a question, John?
Yes, by all means.
I'll put my camera on. So this is a question about the second complaint on the list, which came in March and is still ongoing. And I wondered whether you had a time, because it says the results from which are due shortly, whether there is a time frame for when it is going to be resolved, because that's quite old, that one.
Yeah, so that complaint went to an investigation. The investigation has been completed now, and the report should be available imminently. So the next step after that would be for myself to meet with the chairman and the independent person to consider what the outcome is. If there is a breach, then we'll need to consider whether or not that would go to a panel, or whether there might be another appropriate course with that one. But I would expect literally within the next few days, if not this week, that we could have that meeting and conclude what happens with that particular complaint.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just ask about the complaint about social distancing? I would have thought that had been fairly easy to resolve, either they were or they weren't.
Yes, I think all I'd say has just been a procedural thing that I've not managed to have the consultation meeting yet, but I tend to agree with you there, John, that that should be straightforward. There is a slight complexity to that, in that there's an additional aspect of the complaint which isn't just about social distancing, which has meant a slight delay in terms of considering that. But it probably is, and it's true to say that certainly there have been one or two complaints coming in that haven't necessarily sort of got to the formal stage. I think we did have one earlier in the year that have been around the COVID situation and adherence to guidelines. But I tend to agree with you, John, unless there's any real explicit evidence of not following guidance or indeed the law, then those complaints are unlikely to go any further in terms of our code of conduct process.
Could we not just, when these incidents occur, could we just not issue a to all people that about following the social distancing rules and the fact that not following them will be considered to be a breach of conduct?
Yeah, that's certainly something I could take up. As I said, there's only 2 that have come through the code of conduct process. I have had conversations with people to effectively say something similar to what you've just said there, John, in terms of sort of the purpose of the code of conduct isn't necessarily around particular situations that are current with regard to COVID. But I think it's perhaps a sort of case by case judgment. Certainly, there are certain members of the public who feel very strongly about aspects of the regulations.
Okay, it just concerns me. I mean, we all forget, don't we? And things do happen. And I mean, you see, and whenever you see photographs, it's always difficult to gauge whether they're social distancing or not, whether in the foreground or whether they're, in the background. It's always difficult to know whether they're distancing, and I'm not quite sure what you do when you find.
Can I say something on this?
Yeah.
I say something on this because I'll fess up that I was one of the councillors being complained about. But
Yeah.
I've sent Andrew Moulton the actual video of footage, and we was very much social distancing and very much aware of it. But I've sent him the video, and I think it's just a matter of process here.
Okay. All right. What I don't want is a great big, I mean, we're beginning to get quite a few numbers now, and the last thing we want is a great big list of people not social distancing and us having to go through the same process all the time. I mean, it's very difficult, as I said, when you look at videos or you look at photographs, it's very difficult to know whether they're either in the foreground or the background. It's the old.
It's more difficult than you think, John, because I had a lady today wanted to ask me about something, and she kept coming nearer to me, and I kept moving away, and she kept following me down the road, and she was determined to get within closer than a metre of me to talk to me, and it's really hard in that situation because I just couldn't stop her approaching me. She didn't mean anything by it, but she just forgot, and if somebody had been passing by, they could have thought that I was not socially distancing, but it was just something you can't do anything about it, really.
Yeah, I mean, if this goes on for much longer, we're going to have to come up with some way, because, as I say, I mean, I see every day, I see something on Facebook saying all these people aren't social distancing, but as I said, you can never tell with a photograph.
John, I don't think the Standards Committee should be marshalling the social rules or anything other to do with COVID. I think
that's what I'm saying. Yes. Okay.
It would be an impossible task.
Yeah, I agree with you, John, and that's why I'm trying to get it off of here. I mean, but do you think you could just drop a line to everybody, Andrew, just reminding them that, and when dealing with people, social distancing, and it is something that we all take extremely seriously.
And maybe some advice for people who end up in Prue's situation that she described, where maybe just something that you could say to people in a way that's less likely to cause offence, or not likely to cause offence. Sorry, not implying that Prue did, because it's very awkward, because it's very against our ingrained politeness. No,
and you're right, and people take offence because they think you're trying to be awkward with them. But I know just what you mean. Is there anything else you want to say about any of these complaints?
May I just clarify something? Page 34, they're duplicates?
Yeah, sorry, again,
that's fine.
That was a typo, yeah, ignore those.
And the third one from the 6th and 4th, that says there's a verbal update to come as well?
Yeah, it's basically the same issue that I talked about with regard to that we've just talked about there. COVID one.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'll certainly take that action, John, with regard to those cases.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to say, Andrew?
No, not from me. Thank you.
No. Anybody else got anything they want to say?
Could I just ask a question, John?
Yes, by all means, Wayne.
Andrew, is there any reason why we don't name the town or parish? I can understand if they're a WBC member, and how many of these complaints on here are towns versus parishes? And have we ever done that exercise before?
I would say it's been custom and practice not to name the town or parish. There's nothing in the code of conduct or anywhere that says we shouldn't, but as members know, it's only if a member's found in breach that we'd actually name the member themselves. To answer your question about is it more towns and parishes, I think the answer is yes. We go through little floods of complaints from particular areas, the parishes and towns. But if I did an analysis off the top of my head, I'd say it's predominantly town councils that we get complaints about, or members.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anybody else got anything else to say? No? Can't see any hands up.
No.
Okay, I think that's about it, isn't it? Is there nothing else to talk about?
I couldn't have chaired it quicker. Well done, John.
I know everybody's very busy, but we do have a lot of outstanding stuff, and hopefully at the next meeting some of that we'll be able to put some of that to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope absolutely next time we meet that there'll be a shorter list there, and certainly not lists of complaints that go back some time.
Okay,
Can I just discourage everybody from using the Standards Committee for the political reasons?
Do you mean the complaints process or the committee itself?
The complaints.
Well, the complaints
Yeah,
process.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for turning up. Sorry, it's short, but
No, it's fine. We're all at home.
no.
Now.
not far to walk to have your dinner. All right then. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.